What do we do with James Franklin going forward other than accept that UCLA is going to run the Big Ten? And what do we make for our picks this week? And an interesting debate about the Big Ten championship game, all on this week's Locked On Big Ten Squad.
You're talking ball with the Big Ten Squad, sponsored by Gametime. From USC to Ohio State, from Michigan to Oregon, from Nebraska to Washington, it's the local experts of the Locked On Podcast Network bringing you scoops, breakdowns, and the most comprehensive preview of the upcoming Big Ten weekend. No hurt feelings and thin skin allowed. Squad up, you're part of the Big Ten Squad.
Happy Thursday, everybody. Welcome to this week's Locked On Big Ten Squad. I'm Spencer McLaughlin, host of Locked On Ducks, your host for the week. My neutral arbiter counterpart, he's taking a break. Jacob Goins of Locked On Hoosiers is here with Jay Stevens of Locked On Buckeyes, Roman Tomashoff of Locked On Huskies. We are the fantastic and mighty four for the Big Ten Squad. Let's hop right into the James Franklin discussion. I want to know what you guys think, because, man, he always wins the games that he's supposed to, right? And then he lost the most epically horrible game to lose. It gets worse by the day when you hear things like Jerry Neuheisel didn't know how to work the headset. They had 2 days to install a game plan.
He got a new one though, Spencer. He's fine. He got the new headset.
He got the new headset. He's good to go. He'd never called plays before, and Penn State, that has enough talent to win a national championship, lost that football game. Goins, you take the floor. I'll start throwing shade your way later in the show.
Yeah, I thought it was funny that you started this segment with "we are," and then you started talking the Big Ten Squad. I thought that was kind of funny, but
I didn't even hear that.
I thought it was. You could have claimed that you did it on purpose.
Damn, I should have.
If you were to look at the Penn State schedule preseason, taking their week non-conference schedule, imagine playing 3 crappy teams to start your season. If you were to look at the Big Ten schedule before the year for Penn State and handpick a team that you just absolutely can't lose to, most people would say Northwestern, right? But then by the time you get to the game where UCLA is 0-4, they fired their head coach, they cleaned house completely, and you still lost the game, this is the worst possible thing that could have happened.
UCLA lost to Northwestern.
Yeah, exactly. That sums it up perfectly. This was a situation you just cannot have it. And they're done. They're done. Penn State is done. James Franklin is done. Clean it out. Pay him the money. Get him out of town. And let's move on from this disaster that is James Franklin in Unhappy Valley.
You got $50 million lying around, Goins? You going to make a charitable donation?
If you do, call me, please. I got some investments to run by you.
Yeah, no, I know, but somebody there does, because how do you bounce back from this? That's my question, is how do you bounce back from this? God forbid they lose to Northwestern. Speak of the Devils, Northwestern this weekend. I don't know, man. What a disaster. Yeah,
if you do have that money, Jacob, I've got a great business opportunity regarding a bridge in Brooklyn that is available for purchase. And I would like
Hoosiers going well, man.
I would like to speak to you about that later on the show. Jay Stevens, what do you make of James Franklin showing again he's not ready for the big time?
Well, he showed us that, and when I was watching the game and even thinking about it afterwards, some of their offensive issues were supposed to be fixed when they hired Andy Kotelnicki, but some of the things they're doing offensively are showing that the offensive coordinator isn't getting the job done, or maybe it's James Franklin trying to still control things and do things his way. I don't understand it. I don't understand why James Franklin is kind of that same old thing every single year. He is steady. He was a 10-win winning head coach in regular season walking. He's not going to be that this year. They could very well only win 8 games this year because of the head coach. I also don't like Drew Aller. I think he's supposed to be better this year. He's showing that he is still the same guy, kind of like his head coach. His head coach is the same. The quarterback is the same. They're not getting better. I don't know. I mean, James Franklin's a guy. I'm sure there's a booster out there somewhere that has $50 million to dump over to get him up out of town. I heard someone recently donated $80 million to a school, and so I know people got the money. I'm just not sure if they want to do that now, because 10-2, as we know, Ohio State was 10-2 last year. They won the national championship. I'm not saying Penn State is going to do that, but 10-2 can't get them in the playoff.
Yeah, it could. 10-2. If they win at Ohio State and they beat Indiana, I think it would get them into the college football playoff. I really do. By the way, if someone does donate that much money to Penn State just to remove James Franklin, get ready for Roman and all the Husky fans to be really upset about it from afar. Anyway, Roman, go ahead.
All right. That certainly wasn't where I thought we were going with this.
Why would it be upset, Spencer?
It's called the element of surprise, pal. The element of surprise.
I forgot it's not neutral arbiter of college football.
Not today, no.
That's definitely on me. But this was one of those things where Washington was playing at the same time as I was sitting there pulling my hair out during the 20-0 deficit against Maryland. I kept checking the score. I was like, wait, hold on, it's what? The score is what? At least, there was like a sellout crowd and they could blame it on the hostile environment of the Rose Bowl, right? Like that's something that you'd be like, oh, we're going to adjust to that after. No, I'm totally kidding. This is ridiculous, man. It's so sad that it's gotten to this point where we all knew that James Franklin was a guy who couldn't get over the hump and couldn't win the big game. But to do that with this roster against this messy UCLA team, Spencer, you say, oh yeah, hey, or Jacob, you said that they lost to Northwestern. They lost to New Mexico. Like this UCLA team.
They didn't. Oh no, they didn't lose to New Mexico. They were housed by the Lobos.
They got pummeled.
They got housed.
New Mexico. This is sad. We all sat on this show several months ago. We're like, oh, the over-under for Penn State's win total is 10.5 this season. Yeah, I'm going to take the over. I'll take the over. I'm pretty sure if you go back and check that, most, if not all of us did. This is ridiculous. Like, this team should be in the Big Ten championship. That's what level of talent they have, and there is nowhere else to point the finger but at James Franklin.
I don't think they just have that talent. This is a national championship caliber roster. You put a better head coach into that spot, and they are undefeated right now. Now, it is worth noting they were literally one play away from beating Oregon, and if they do that, I don't think they go and lose to UCLA. But that kind of makes my point, right? As we look at Oregon as national title contender, top 3 team in college football right now, and Penn State is one play. Oh, I'm sorry, Roman. Did facts upset you? It's standard operating procedure.
What was that? No, Indiana's going to win this weekend.
Give it time.
Yeah, we'll talk about that. We'll talk about that in the next segment. But they're one play from beating Oregon. Why? Because that's the caliber roster they have. Like I feel bad for Penn State fans at this point. I do, because let's wrap this segment going around like this. If Penn State misses the playoff this year and they're 9-3, let's say they lose to Ohio State, somehow find a way to beat Indiana, which I don't know if I would predict right now. If they were to do that but miss the playoff, is James Franklin the head coach next year? I think he is.
Unfortunately, because of the money factor, he probably is. But to Jay's point, if you have somebody who can donate $50 million to Stanford, somebody could donate $50 million to Penn State to buy him out. You're just going to have to take a really rich person and a really upset person to do so. But yeah, he would probably be the head coach still in that situation.
You realize how much money $50 million, man?
To give away, to donate, to say, here, spend this. Do whatever you want with it.
Yeah.
That's a lot of money.
It's not even, like Cody Campbell at Texas Tech, who's giving money to get players and keep them around and build a rock. No, it's $50 million to start over. Jay, that's a big chunk of change.
It's a big chunk of change, and I do think he's there next year. Even though the standard at Penn State, from what James Franklin has set, is not 9-3, you're probably not going to get a coach. Like, what coach could they get that's better than him? That's willing to leave their current job to go there. I even recently heard Bill
Belichick
gone. What's that?
Bill Belichick's going to buy himself out.
He could. No, I think he's still there. I do. And then probably after next year, he's gone, because you're going to have a new quarterback. You're going to have basically a whole new starting lineup on both sides of the ball. And 9-3 this year could be 7-5 next year.
It might depend on who they get at quarterback. I don't think it's crazy to think they could upgrade a quarterback going into next year. Wonder if Bo Perbilo will hit the portal. Roman, you want to wrap this one up?
Yeah.
He looks good.
There is no reason that he should be there, but I agree that he will. And it's not just the money. I feel like you're going to give him some kind of leash. Like, does he deserve it? I don't think so, but I think there is a long enough track record of, we can give this guy one more season and see what happens. And the buyout does continue to drop. And then all of a sudden the money does come into play a year, maybe 2 years down the line.
Yeah. Yeah, that's not a great spot for Penn State to be in. But we're going to look forward. I have a question about Michigan or Nebraska. Jacob and I are going to just get like on the cusp of yelling at one another. It's a rumble in the jungle sort of vibe. That is all coming up next here on the Locked On Big Ten Squad. First, this episode brought to you by our friends at SupplyHouse. When the whistle blows on a new repair, get your crew moving forward with SupplyHouse. Order today and see parts on your doorstep tomorrow. Over 280,000 plumbing, HVAC, and electrical items from the most trusted brands in the business. Their real-time inventory and honest lead times keep you from punting projects, while their industry-leading customer service always has your blind side covered. If you need parts fast for a project, SupplyHouse has next day delivery. You talk about a game changer, SupplyHouse is just that. Join the free Trademaster program today and score serious perks like priority shipping, lower prices, and a dedicated support line. Visit supplyhouse.com to sign up for free and use promo code SHCollege5 for 5% off your first order. That's supplyhouse.com. Real people, real service. And FanDuel's got real odds on real games. The NFL season is here, and FanDuel has an offer you don't want to miss. Right now, new customers can bet just $5 and get $300 in bonus bets if you win. That's right. You pick a bet, you put down $5, and if it hits, you'll unlock $300 in bonus bets to use across the app. And all the games that we're going to talk about later on today's show, lines, of course, provided by FanDuel. If you think you know what's going to happen better than some of us do, our picks are up and down, maybe some more than others, then FanDuel is the place to go. You have got point spreads, money line, over-unders, prop bets. It's all over there. Check them out. What are you waiting for? Visit FanDuel.com to download the FanDuel app today and get started. Check them out at FanDuel.com. All right, before we get to Oregon, Indiana, the game of the week in the Big Ten and in college football, I wanted to throw this one out there at you guys. Who's more likely to make the Big Ten championship game, Michigan or Nebraska?
Big Ten championship game.
Just make the Big Ten championship game.
Option C, neither. Is that a possibility?
No.
I want to go with.
No, I want this contrast. I know Michigan's got the head-to-head. You can look at that, but Michigan has a tougher schedule than what Nebraska has going forward, and the Cornhuskers have only lost the one game, and they're a solid team. I'm just saying, who's more likely? Who's more likely?
I'll go with Michigan just because of their run game and their defense. And look, Nebraska still has a tough game at Maryland. They still have what is now apparently a tough game with UCLA, right? They do have to go to Penn State, which who knows if that's a tough game. I mean, Oregon won there, so anybody can. So I don't think that Nebraska is a team that you should be overlooking and just kind of move on from. But I think Michigan's just more talented and honestly probably better coached at this point. So if I had to pick a team to continue to stay hot, I'll pick the Michigan Wolverines, but I don't like them to make it that far either.
Jay?
I don't like this at all. Because Ohio State lost to Michigan 4 years in a row. That still haunts me every day. And I think Ohio State snaps that streak this year and gets back on top of the rivalry. But they don't look that good. Like, they really don't. I know the running game and their defense is solid, but they don't have enough weapons to, I think, win out the rest of the way for Nebraska. I don't really think they're good enough either. So I hate this question. I really do. I like you, Spencer.
This is horrible.
I don't know why in your twisted brain you put this together for us to talk about here on this show, because it doesn't make any sense. The only thing that's in Michigan's favor is they play Ohio State. I think Nebraska may play Ohio. No, they don't. They don't play Ohio State this year.
No, nope.
Like maybe.
That's why it's interesting. Michigan's got to play Washington. Michigan's got to play Ohio State.
At USC this week.
They've got to play at USC. They could very easily lose this week. But I just sort of, by the way, Roman, you'll appreciate this nugget. Speaking of weird ways in which my brain works, Nebraska's traveling to Maryland as a 6.5-point favorite. What could possibly go wrong, right?
Nothing could ever go wrong. I was going to complain about not being able to mention Washington until right now. So thank you for saying that, Spencer.
You're welcome.
But I also hate this question. I would probably lean towards Michigan right now because, Jay, you point out, USC this week, Washington next week, and then up until you get through the Ohio State game, I don't think it's necessarily one of the tougher schedules in the Big Ten, like Purdue, Northwestern in there. So I would probably lean towards Michigan. I also just think that, like Jacob said, the run game, the defense, I never want to trust a true freshman quarterback starting for an entire season like that. But I also just don't necessarily trust this Nebraska team either. So to give me Michigan.
Interesting.
What a disaster it would be if one of these two teams makes it to the Big Ten championship.
Disaster for all of you, just to be clear. For Jacob Goins, Jay Stevens, Roman Tomashoff would be a disaster if one of these teams winds up in the Big Ten championship.
Why? Because they be
game.
playing Oregon? Is that what you're trying to just say? It's because they play Oregon?
Anyway, moving on to the next subject here on the show. Oregon, Indiana, the game of the week.
Game of the year.
I'm not part of.
No, Roman's out. Roman, you don't want to.
I want you two to yell at each other, and I'm not going to interrupt.
No, we wouldn't yell at each other. We would sternly state our point of view in the game. Like,
we've been called kind already this week by
we have. That's true. We had a comment about that. I think we should change that. Goins. Indiana is a bunch of small weaklings who are going to lose by 30 on Thursday.
Thursday?
Yeah, no, they're not. I do think Oregon wins the game.
On Saturday, you mean?
Thursday.
But
gosh,
are we starting right now? We're jumping into.
Let's jump into it.
You hear that, Indiana folks? Oregon is so scared of this game. They're ready to play right now and get it over with and move on because they're so worried about Indiana that they can't even focus. They can't even think straight. Kurt Cignetti is in their minds. Oh, it's rent free. I think Oregon's paying him to stay in their house. That's what's happening here. No, this is an awesome game, right? I mean, Indiana, you're going into one of the biggest games in your program history. Think about that. You're playing in a top 10 game on the road. College Game Day finally made the right decision and going to go and watch the Hoosiers. Now they're, of course, going to Eugene, but that's okay.
Yeah, we all know who they're really there to watch.
Yeah, Kurt Cignetti, it's okay. Yeah. And this is one of the biggest games in program history. And for Indiana folks, I know some of you can't understand this because you've been there, done that, but this is a big deal. And if Indiana can show up and play well and perform on the national stage and hopefully earn some of that respect that people – refuse to give for Kurt Cignetti and the Hoosiers, I think a lot of people would be happy with that, on top of course, beating Oregon by, 56 or so.
Yeah, that seems incredibly likely, very possible. On a serious note, I think that there is more at stake for Kurt Cignetti than Dan Lanning in this spot. Not that a loss wouldn't draw criticism because Oregon is at home, ranked higher, the favorite, and all that sort of stuff, and Oregon should be able to win the football game, and I believe that they will, but a win for Oregon is not nearly as impactful as a win for Indiana. Like, I am not someone that throws dirt on their win over Illinois. A lot of people have. There was literally a piece on ESPN the next day saying Indiana hasn't really beaten anyone. I'm like, they just took a top 10 team to the woodshed. What are we doing, guys? What are we doing? So I'm someone who in my top 25 has had Indiana in the top 5. Ever since that particular win. So on a serious note, I think the opportunity for Indiana is awesome. On a, we'll call it less serious note, Jacob, do you understand the nightmares that Autzen Stadium can instill? Oh, Damon Williams just got sacked again at Autzen. That's something, man. Isn't that incredible?
Rent-free. Oh,
isn't that incredible? I can't believe that they sacked him again.
So you really think Kurt Cignetti of all coaches are going to let his team be rattled in this environment?
Jacob,
what's your 108 years old? He's been around college football forever, man. He is the GOAT. Have you ever had on a warm summer day a really nice freshly made peach pie? Have you ever had that before? I mean, I'm not a peach fan, but sure.
Oh, that's too bad. Peach pie is phenomenal and the best type of pie, followed by pecan. I would like to introduce you and the Indiana fans to humble pie.
Wow, good one.
Humble pie is going to be served at Autzen Stadium for about 60 minutes of game time. Roman can't take it.
No, I've never had a piece of peach pie on a summer day, but you know what I do on a summer day? I rip a cig, and that's what's happening. Kurt Cignetti coming
That's not good for your health. Bad for your health.
Yeah, it's bad. Very bad. Bad for Oregon fans too, baby. Here we come.
Okay, all right. Jay and Roman, if you'd like to weigh in on the game of the week, you can, or we can just keep lobbing metaphors at each other. Either way, I'm good.
Jay wants to tell the world why Indiana's about to win this football.
Jay and Roman, why don't you guys go ahead? Here, Goins and I are going to be muted, and we're gonna listen to you guys talk about the game.
I don't think it's going to be close. I think Oregon has this one in the bag.
Gosh, Jay, you were the man. I knew you were the best.
Shut up, Spencer.
Did anybody forget what happened last year when Indiana came to Ohio State and Cignetti was talking trash the entire time, and then he got beat bad for 60 minutes? It's probably going to be the same thing Saturday in Austin Stadium.
We have to point out for all the audio listeners that Spencer has decided to bring out the duck pillow. First of all, Oregon fans talking about
we love the pillow.
Oregon fans
Everybody
talking
loves
about
pillow
humble
talk.
Pie is rich. Okay, I was really hoping we weren't going to get that again. Oregon fans talking about humble pie is rich, and then of course following that up with flexing on beating a 6-5 team is also absolutely crazy. But when I look at this matchup, you're talking about Damon Williams getting sacked again. Don't give me
that one.
confused.
Sorry, I thought you were talking about Penn State. And I was like, whoa, you think they're going to collapse that hard? Dang, man.
You know what?
Would be
Now I
dark
kind of wish I
times.
said that. So,
They collapse like that, he is gone.
now I kind of wish I said that. Now I'm a little mad about that. No, I really do think this is going to be a really well-fought game. I haven't necessarily been overly impressed with Oregon's pass protection so far this season. I don't think Isaiah World has been all that he was cracked up to be through the transfer portal so far. So I think this is going to be a real big prove-it game for him. I like what Indiana has done along the defensive line. I'm going to ride with Indiana right now because, you know, we all see this beautiful flag behind me right here.
Yeah,
but at the same point in time, I do feel like that this is going to be a little bit different than the Indiana-Ohio State game last year, where Ohio State's scheme is just perfect defensively to stop what Indiana likes to do on the offensive side of the ball. I don't think that Oregon's is built the same way. I think it's been very good. I can't deny that. But I think this is going to be a really fun game.
It is gonna be fun. I can't wait to talk about it next week on the squad. That's gonna be.
I may or may not be here next week. Just depends.
Yeah, that's good. Cohen's my clock out, depending on.
And if Indiana wins, I'll host the squad next week, buddy. You can take the week off. If
you know what? You can do that. You could. Let's throw. What's like the proverbial?
I can't figure it out.
Let's make a Ted Lasso darts wager here.
Yeah.
You can host, and you can have all the power that comes with hosting, which now that Brandon isn't here to produce this is actually a lot. Because see, like, Roman is just not in the show anymore, and Roman's back in the show, and Roman's over there. I can do all of these things, right? I couldn't do that before. So you can host next week, and I picked you at random. Also, there's a 33% chance. I'm talking
That's a fair point.
Oh, actually, he's a 50% chance. Because Goins is the guy I'm talking to, so I can't take him out of it, or else the conversation wouldn't make any sense. And then Jay picked Oregon, so really there was only one logical option.
Yeah.
There was no other way to go.
We're not in your favor, Roman.
No, they weren't. Were they
all.
stacked against you before all of those factors came into play? I'm not answering that question. But we are going to answer the question of who's winning every game in the Big Ten. Our Week 7 picks in the Big Ten coming up next. First, this episode brought to you by our friends at Mazda. Mazda crafts cars for those who do more than simply move. Mazda delivers confidence with every ride with more IIHS Top Safety Pick awards than anyone else as of August 2025. From footwork to breathwork, athletes on your favorite team are sweating all the details. Mazda brings the same intention to how they craft every model. You can make everyday drives feel like everything but, from smooth handling to intuitive control. Speaking of smooth drive, Oregon against Indiana this week. Smooth drive. It's going to be a smooth sailing like a Mazda car this week at Autzen Stadium. With all-wheel drive standard in every crossover SUV, you can drive with confidence through almost any season. Like the players of your favorite team, Mazda sweats every detail because when you make every move count, impossible becomes irrelevant. Mazda, move and be moved. This episode also brought to you by our friends over at Quo. One of the tools that help make a huge difference for business owners is Quo, formerly OpenPhone. It's the same great business phone system you've heard me talk about before, just with a new name. And here's why it matters. Every missed call is an opportunity to make money that you left on the table. When every customer conversation counts, you need a phone system that keeps you connected 24/7. Quo is the #1 business phone system that streamlines customer communications. It works right through an app on your phone or computer, so no more carrying two phones or relying on a landline. I love that Quo, formerly OpenPhone, lets your team share one number and collaborate on calls and texts like a shared inbox, so no customer gets left hanging. See why over 90,000 businesses trust Quo, formerly OpenPhone. Get started free and get 20% off your first 6 months at quo.com/lockedoncollege. That's QUO.com/lockedoncollege. And if you've got existing numbers with another service, Quo will port them over at no extra charge. Quo, no missed calls, no missed customers. Let's wrap up this week's Locked On Big Ten squad with our game picks of the week. Roman will start with you. I'll let you go first because I'm just that nice. Huskies and Rutgers this week. Upset alert here. I like Washington.
Thanks for starting with me.
He's just totally caught off guard.
Whoa.
Yeah, Roman usually checks out for the first 4 minutes of every segment.
No, I was going to start making my pick, and then all of a sudden you just, cut me off and then keep going.
Let's not act surprised that he did that.
I'm not surprised at all. Washington's 10.5 point favorites on FanDuel. I don't make pregame predictions or score predictions or anything like that. I will say I had Washington win this game in the preseason, and I think that this matches up really well for UW, especially after a 3-point loss in Piscataway last year.
I think so. Yeah, I think Washington's the better team. You're at home. It's a Friday night. You should take care of business. Look, Rutgers got off to a 3-0 start, 0-2 since. Yeah, continue that train. Washington wins. Washington wins big, Jay Stevens.
Same. I'm with the other two, the other three. Not sure if Spencer gave his pick or not, but I am going with Washington with this one as well. Rutgers, not as strong as they probably thought they were going to be this year. And I just think Washington has too much firepower to not win this one big.
All right, I'm out of my cone of shame moment there. We've made our picks for Indiana, Oregon. Jay, we haven't talked about your Buckeyes in Illinois, and there's a distinct reason for that. I don't think there's any upset alert here. I think Ohio State is going to win this game. I think it's going to be by close to 20 points. I don't trust Illinois in the trenches.
Wow, you're on the same page as me because I think Ohio State's going to win probably by at least 24. The trench thing is one thing, but I think Ryan Day and Brian Hartline are going to continue to put more on Julian Sand's plate. And as they do that, I don't know if there's going to be a defense in the country that can stop Ohio State when they put everything out there. They're slow rolling this offensive thing and are still getting better and better and better week in and week out. The defense isn't outsane. They only are giving up 5 points a game on the season. I can't really describe how great this defense has been so far. My eyeballs tell me it could be one of the better defenses we've seen in quite a long time if they keep this up throughout the rest of the year.
Roman?
2 things. One, is Washington the best opponent on Ohio State's schedule? Just throwing that out there for right now. 2, Jay, watching that defense in person was absolutely wild. And Arvell Reese and Sonny Styles, they're just so extremely impressive. Ohio State wins big.
Jacob?
Yeah, we saw Illinois' offense against Indiana's defense, and they put up 10 total points, and the only defense better than Indiana's is Ohio State. So I'm going to say Ohio State might just put 45 points on them if Julian Sand really gets the green light here, and Illinois may not cross midfield.
Northwestern has more Big Ten wins than Penn State, and they have a common opponent. Nittany Lions favored by about 3 touchdowns. I am tempted to put them into my best bets this week just to give them that curse so that this is a close game. I mean, that's come to my mind.
If you get 3 touchdowns for Northwestern, take it. Northwestern is a really good. Well, okay, hold on. Northwestern is a hold on. I stopped myself. I corrected it. I stopped myself. Northwestern has a solid defense, solid defensively, and they run the ball and dominate time of possession. That's not good for a Penn State offense that flat out sucks. So, yeah, give me Northwestern to cover a 3-touchdown spread. Penn State will find a way to win, even though the Boo Birds will be flying there at Happy Valley. But I'll take Penn State to win, but it won't be pretty.
Jacob just tuck ruled his comment about Northwestern.
It was a catch, maybe not a catch. Fumble. Let's go to the review booth. We'll be back in 20 minutes.
Yeah, give me Tony Pereira. Give me Mike Pereira. I need his insight. Jay, can Northwestern shock Penn State?
I mean, they can. I mean, anything's possible. We saw what UCLA did last week. I think Penn State wins this one. I don't think there's a way for Penn State to lose. I mean, there is a way. I would be shocked. More shocked than I was last week when UCLA won. I'll be shocked if they lose this game. because then there's a scenario where James Franklin doesn't coach the following week. In that $50 million buyout, they find a way to make that thing happen. I got Penn State winning this one. I don't think they cover the spread, but they'll get the W.
Roman?
I'll take Penn State to cover. I just think there might be a revenge factor here. And, solid Northwestern defense. There's certainly something to be said for that.
Right.
I think that there's going to be some kind of try to get right, and I think Penn State's got the opportunity to do that.
All right, rapid fire picks to end today's show. UCLA goes at Michigan State. I think the Spartans humble the Bruins here.
I do too. I like Aiden Childs. I think offensively Michigan State's getting better and better. If they can stop somebody, they'll win, and I think they do this weekend.
Give me Sparty.
Roman?
Michigan State.
How about Nebraska and Maryland? Anyone think there's a revenge factor for the Terrapins here? I like Nebraska.
I like Maryland.
I got Maryland.
Whoa.
I'll take Nebraska. They got to play the first half without Sidney Stewart.
I did not think that was going to be a 2-2 split. Terrapin's solid. Malik Washington playing some good ball. Dylan Raiola also pretty good. Iowa at Wisconsin. Boy, Ryan Herrings is not here, but he needs a win. So I'll give it to him. Badgers, first Big Ten win.
Nah, Iowa will win 8-6.
That was good.
Iowa.
I'll take Iowa.
With so much confidence, you guys are just
Wisconsin it is.
I guess, yeah, okay. Purdue at Minnesota. We're all going to take Minnesota to win the game, right?
Yeah.
All right, we'll close.
I'm taking Purdue, guys.
Oh, whoa.
I know. I think Purdue is playing big boy football. Now, they're only playing Minnesota, and I'm not too worried about that, but I am. I'm picking Purdue to win. As much as my fans and people may hate me for it, I think Purdue, from just a generic football standpoint, I think Purdue's the better team. I think they win.
Roman.
This is certainly a football game, but no, I'll take
This is one of the football games of all time. We wrap with a much more exciting game. How about this one? Unranked USC favored over 15th ranked Michigan. Long road trip. Wolverines trying to stay unbeaten in Big Ten conference play. Lincoln Riley needs to win this one to cleanse the palate of what happened last year against the Wolverines when they lost on basically the last play of the game. I think USC gets it done at home. I'll take them to win, cover 24-20.
This game should be fun. And my answer to the previous question in the previous segment was Michigan to make it to a Big Ten championship over Nebraska. I don't think either one does. So I'll take USC. Even though running the ball and defense travels, I think USC will find a way to win.
Jay.
Oh, USC. And I don't even like Lincoln Riley. I just like him more than I like Sharon Moore. Give me USC in this one. Probably about 10 points.
Roman, wrap it up.
I'm not sold on USC's defense. Give me Michigan.
Not sold. You hear that, Trojan fans? They call that bulletin board material. Jacob Goins, Locked On Hoosiers. Jay Stevens, Locked On Buckeyes. Roman Tomashoff, Locked On Huskies. I'm Spencer McLaughlin, Locked On Ducks. That is it for this week's Locked On Big Ten Squad. Appreciate everyone listening. We will see you next time, and until then, hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day.